we're looking at a new report, so new it hasn't actually been released yet, from the guys at Allsopp and Allsopp. It asks the question, could Dubai be heading for a commercial property crisis of sorts? We're joined by the real estate company's group CEO, Lewis Allsopp, this morning. Lewis, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Morning, Brandi.
So your report asks whether or not our commercial real estate can keep up with demand from new businesses. What's the answer?
So I've done my research on this personally as a business. And the reason the report came about really is we've been a victim of this as a real estate company, which is quite ironic. We looked at the data and the numbers, and there's been, let's call it 100,000 people moved to Dubai in 2023. Look at the new companies that have launched, over 30,000 companies in H1 of 2023. Then you look at the launches that are happening in Dubai. They're all residential. Every single one. The notable ones I could think of is the DIFC one recently, which had only 9 floors. So my question I've got to the property market really is, where are these people going to work? And this is going to be the pressure that's going to put on tenants renting commercial assets in Dubai.
When you say you've been affected by this, what do you mean?
So we have viewings on one of our offices in Business Bay from a large company that the owner's looking to sell and put new tenants in, because the rent since we rented it 8 years ago have probably gone up 400 or 500%. So naturally, what you'll find is most commercial contracts are 3 to 5 years, because the fit out cost is quite expensive. So no one's doing a year to year like Dubai. When it comes close to completing the contracts, you're going to see a lot of commercial contracts getting their year's notice.
I was going to say, you're savvy, Lewis. You presumably have written yourself a good contract for that lease.
Yes.
But as it comes to the end of it, they can legally give you 12 months notice. Are you being turfed out?
Not this second we are being turfed out, but I think we've got to be logistical. I'm a landlord myself, and if there's a chance to 5x your money compared to what you were getting 8 years ago, the property values increase. So it's not people just renting. You've got to remember people's property values have gone up. So people are looking to sell their commercial assets at 5 times the money to release liquidity from it. So we've hedged that bet also, and also we've actually bought 13,000 square foot of commercial space in the last 3 months because we see it as a good investment. And to be honest with you, we don't want to be linked to waiting for somebody to kick us out. So I think commercial, and it's a big statement, in the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to outperform residential.
So talk to me, though, about companies being given notice. As you say, companies are usually on longer leases, obviously, than residential, because you've invested, you've fit out. You need a bit of continuity for your clients and your customers as well. But as those leases are coming to an end, are you saying you're hearing of people being given notice?
Yeah, they're being given notice as we speak now. It's happening, and there's no reason for it not to happen. You have a contractual agreement with the landlord to stay a certain amount of time. After that period, as long as they give a valid time, which is 12 months, they can move you on. So it is happening. The thing with residential you need to understand is everybody needs a house. In commercial, not everyone needs a house. People don't see it as a good asset class. But with more businesses moving here, there's just not enough offices for the businesses that are opening up.
So those who are moving in, particularly if the rents when they go back on the market are rising, what are they doing? Where are they going?
They're going further afield. So people that were looking in downtown, they would move to Business Bay, and people in Marina would look at JLT. It's very similar to the residential market. How you find that people being outpriced in Marina, they're going further afield. It's exactly the same, because you've got to understand the business point of view. They still need the square footage. Most businesses are upsizing. So when they're looking to upsize, can they afford the fit out and then 5x or 4x what they paid 5 years ago? Negative effect on their profitability, obviously with corporation tax as well and other factors coming into a business. It's becoming very tricky to run a business if you're on that low level margin.
Well, one of the things Tom and I have been pondering this morning is how tight are the laws in terms of where I could operate an office out of?
So there are places that do have certain licensing to be able to do it, but you can't just operate a fully fledged business in a 1-bedroom in Marina in your house. There are certain rules and regulations where you have to operate. So obviously you need the visa attached to it in the Ijari and the bank account. It's all linked together to be able to get your business operating.
While you're comparing what's happening in the commercial space to the residential space, are we also seeing people who are being asked to move or feel that they will be when their lease comes to an end, looking to buy for themselves, like the spike in buying we've seen for renters and homeowners?
As in for commercial properties?
For commercial, are we seeing those that traditionally would have been office tenants becoming office owners?
100%. I've got friends that are in other industries that are doing the same thing, because you've got to understand, if you pick fitting out an office for 10,000 square foot, you're spending $1.5 million. That money is down the drain if you're kicked out of the property. So a lot of people are doing that, and banks are susceptible to it. I just had a meeting with a bank in Dubai, and they're offering 50% loan to value to the business if they want to buy a commercial asset. So it's definitely being done. And I think more and more people are going to get savvy that you can recirculate that finance back into your bank rather than paying a landlord, no different to renting and owning.
Why aren't more of us then, Lewis, becoming office landlords rather than thinking, okay, I'll buy a one bed, I'll rent it out short-term, long-term? Why am I not investing in office space?
It's unknown really, isn't it, for a lot of people? Being honest with you, I wasn't an office landlord till 2 years ago. It's a unique industry to be in, and you just need to know your whereabouts in the market to be able to make it a successful investment. But there is very strong yields there.
What kind of yields could I be looking at?
You can get 50, 60, 20% on a warehouse, and in a commercial office, if you bought now, it could be 7, 8, 9, 10%. But if you bought 3 or 4 years ago, work out the yield. Your yield your yield is based on your original purchase price. If you look at what you bought 5 years ago and you get 5x rent, your yield is crazy. You're talking multiple digits. So there are some really good, healthy investors that put money down 5 years ago that may be making 30% year on year.
Do you expect, 30 seconds, do you expect to see more amateur landlords, if you like, in the commercial space, or is it still going to stay rather a league for the bigger players?
No, there's a lot of individual landlords there that are actually investing.